Hey yo, what is poppin' my folks? It's your boy Fizz, aka Ben here, bringing you guys the NCL Week 7 battle going up against Jamezy and the Crystal Palkia. Now before I get into the video, I'm going to remind you guys to hit that like button down below and subscribe if you are new. Of course, you already know I'm the master of plugs. You already know I got to do that at the beginning of every fucking video. You already know. But yeah man, going up against James, we are 6-0. I believe he's having a very good season so far. He has a pretty interesting team, to say the least. He drafted kind of some hyper offense. I'm going to go over his team really quickly. Mega Gardevoir, Kartana, Zero Aura, Araquanid, Darmanitan, Alolan, Persian, Drampa, Gliscor, Nihilego, Vanilluxe, and the Mimikyu. So he has some very interesting hyper offense here. Not much synergy, but it's been working out for him. Like, it's just been working out for him, considering his record. And he has his best defensive backbone. I know this was like Persian, Gliscor, and like Araquanid. So those can get chipped pretty easily and pressured pretty well. So my thinking here is I can't really. Well, I do have the pieces to like defensively check most of the Pokemon on his team. That's what I do have. But I can also pressure him offensively with my Pokemon as well, because I have both really good offense in my draft and pretty decent defenses on my draft, and I believe that my defenses can check his offense better than his offense can break through mine. So I just felt like that's the mindset I'm going to when I'm building for this. But yeah, the first thing I noticed was Banded Aerodactyl here has no switch-ins. Like no switch-ins. Stone Edge, Ice Fang, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide over Rock Slide just in case Stone Edge misses, or I don't want to miss and I need it to hit something. I go for the Rock Slide. Nothing switches into Stone Edge in Ice Fang. Just nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. The best thing is Kartana, but you're never switching in Kartana on my Aerodactyl. That's just not possible. So it's crazy. Gliscor takes like 50 from Stone Edge, and I can Ice Fang it on the next turn, or not the next turn, like the next time I come in, whatever the case may be. And I also have Defog on here in case he wants to get up webs or something. This thing is floating above the ground, so it's immune to T-Spikes from Nihilego, webs, all that good stuff. But this thing just obliterates him, man. It just bodies him completely, and hopefully it can just put in so much work here, and hopefully like it's just gonna be amazing because it does look amazing on paper. But next up I have Buzzwole, my Kartana check. I have Cobra because it could have Aerial Ace, and Z Aerial Ace is a possibility. I believe that's like the flying move he gets. He definitely gets a flying move. So this thing is there to check Kartana in addition to that flying move. And I do kill it back with a Drain Punch. So this thing is very, very bulky. Also handles the Araquanid pretty well. It can switch into the Gliscor, Mimikyu as well. But I do take a pretty big chunk from Play Rough. But it's not my switch into Mimikyu. It's just there for Kartana because I have to have an answer to Kartana, and this is it. It's a very good Kartana check. Roost, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Earthquake. I could put Superpower over Drain Punch, but I feel like getting recovery on things is much better than lowering my defense when it's supposed to be a defensive wall. Dig, so that's what I got. Ice Punch is there for the Gliscor. Can't really do much back except for like Toxic, but I don't have Sub on this thing. I love Sub Buzzwole, man. Let me tell you, I love Substitute Buzzwole with Roost or whatever. And Earthquake is there for the Zero Aura. This is also a pretty decent switch into a Zero Aura as well, so that's definitely going to be very good here. And Earthquake also one-hit KOs the Nihilego in case I need that to happen. So, and the Darmanitan, I guess if I catch it on the switch, question mark. But you know what, this thing is a really good physically defensive wall, so that's exactly what it is going to be. Next up, I have my Choice Scarf Garchomp. Now, it's a very, very obvious Choice Scarf Garchomp here. To outspeed the Zero Aura, to outspeed Nihilego that could HP Ice me. But, you know what, I felt like Scarf Chomp was just too good here to pass up. He does have a very good, what's it called, very good switch into Gliscor, but you can see how I can punish that later. I have Edgequake, Fire Fang, and Poison Jab. Poison Jab is there in case I need to secure a KO on Mega Gardevoir. Now, I have a bit of attack taken out on my Garchomp because in case he's Scarf Nihilego, which it's definitely a bring here. I feel like Scarf Nihilego is definitely a good bring here just because of how obvious my Scarf Chomp is. I can limit HP Ice from it from full if it's Scarfed. And if it's not Scarfed, I just Earthquake kill it. So I felt no risk. And like, what is it, 20 points more of EVs? Like, it's not going to be It could be the difference of picking up some KOs on like Gardevoir with Poison Jab or something, but I feel like it was just worth to have. But this thing also just does really well against his team. Nothing really wants to switch in except the Gliscor. That's just what it is. And you can see I punish it with my Clefable. This Clefable is intended to set up all over the Gliscor, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Psyshock, and Softball. This thing is very physically defensive for something like the Zero Aura or Gliscor or something. It's just very physically defensive. With Moonblast and Psyshock, Calm Mind, I set up all over the Gliscor. Nothing you can do about it. Earthquake is going to do like 4. And once Kartana goes down, this thing pretty much wins the game. After a couple of Calm Mind boosts, I can potentially 1v1 the Nihilego. Psyshock is there for the Nihilego. So, yeah, this thing just wins late game, like, completely. And it's just set up fodder for Gliscor. So, if I can play my cards correctly with my Chomp and my Aerodactyl, I can weaken Gliscor, or I can use Gliscor as setup fodder for my Clefable. So that's definitely going to be the plan here. Those are the 4 main Pokemon that I'm going to be looking forward to using. And it's going to be very good here in this game. Next up, I have my Rocker. I really needed a Nihilego switch in, man. You always have to have a good Steel type on your draft. Steelix with leftovers and Sturdy, Sterothrock, Ice Fang, Earthquake, and Gyro Ball. Dual Stab is also really good here. Ice Fang is for the Gliscor. Straightforward stuff. I don't really need to explain too much. This is my Rocker. Now I need to keep this healthy. Again, I am recording this post-com, so this is after I played the battle. I need to keep this healthy for the Nihilego, or else Nihilego sweeps me, like, completely. Look at my team. It just gets bodied by Nihilego. So I really need to keep Steelix healthy here, and hopefully I can do that. This is probably going to be my lead, because he can't really do anything to punish me, except for lead Araquanid, but I can switch into Clefable all day, or my Water Resist, and my Slowking. So yeah, this is just there to get up rocks and use his Dual Stab and check Nihilego, so that's what it is. Next up, I needed a Darmanitan switch in. Now, this is the last key to my defensive core that I needed to just get stuff done, and I can check his Pokemon defensively. This thing can pretty much check the Darmanitan. I punish the U-turn because it takes Rocky Helmet, plus it takes Life Orb if it does have it. It can also take rocks coming back in, so I punish it even getting momentum, so it's going to be wary. Clicking U-turn all the time, so that's going to be good for me. Rocky Helmet's really good if he just wants to Flare Blitz me. It does over half if he's like banded, I think, so that's not fun. So that's Rock Chip, Flare Blitz, Recoil, and Rocky Helmet. I can switch out into something like my Garchomp or my Aerodactyl, which doesn't want to take it at all, but it you know, if I gotta do it, I gotta do it, you know. And yeah, that's the story. Now, I am pretty scared of Kartana and the Nihilego, because I feel like I'll do something stupid and lose the game. But I kind of like my team. It's definitely a scary matchup, man. When you're playing these hyper offense teams, it's definitely a scary matchup, and nothing is guaranteed. Absolutely nothing is guaranteed. So you always have to be careful when playing these types of teams. But yeah, I'm going to go right into the battle right here. Looking at his team, he does bring the Kartana, the Mega Gardevoir, Zero Aura, Mimikyu, Nihilego, and Gliscor. Now he has no Araquanid, which is so good for me. And I see no reason to not get up rocks here, because he's forced to run Defog, Gliscor, Defog, Kartana, question mark. I've seen Defog Kartana before. I've seen some shit, alright? But it forces the Gliscor to run one less move, so Earthquake, Roost, Defog. The Nihilego might be Rocks or T-Spikes, but if it Scarfs, this Gliscor is the only hazard setter that he has. So it's just really, really good information right off the bat. And it's going to be really hard for me to play around Kartana and the Nihilego, because I can't tell which one is Scarfed right off the matchup. So I just need to preserve my defensive Mons very well here. I think that's just a priority here. I need to preserve my defensive Mons, figure out what the Nihilego and Kartana sets are, and go from there. Now I'm just going to lead off with my Steelix, because why do I not lead with Steelix? He goes into Nihilego, goes to a Grass Knot, does 37, and that lets you Scarf damage, so I know right off the bat that it's Scarf. Now, if I went for the Gyro Ball turn 1, that would have been phenomenal. I don't know how much he thought Grass Knot would have done, but in hindsight, I probably should have Gyro Ball there, because even this thing doesn't necessarily want to take it, and I can Ice Fang right after. So in hindsight, Gyro Ball was the correct play, but getting up rocks was just no drawback for me. As I go for the Gyro Ball there, it does 17. But that's a pretty good chip, honestly. Now against my Clefable here, try to punish it, but he does reveal a U-turn, so next time he comes in, he takes 12.5% of rocks damage. Now, he goes into his Gardevoir here, pretty good double into my Buzzwole, catches me there. So pretty good on his end, but I do have a pretty good switch into this in Steelix. Now, this is where things get very scary. I realize that I don't have separate checks for Gardevoir and Nihilego. So, yeah, that's definitely scary, because if this thing gets completely weakened, like Nihilego wins the game, so it's just going to be very hard, and that was my biggest misprep. I don't have separate checks for Mega Gardevoir and Nihilego. I didn't really think about Mega Gardevoir, quite honestly, in building, just because I was so focused on switching into Cortana, Darmanitan, and Nihilego, stuff like that. I didn't really factor the Mega, so that's what makes Hyper Offense team so scary. I learned that you can't check everything on his team. That's what I thought. I know I was working you guys up with, hey, I check everything on his team defensively, but no. But I do decide to Gyro Ball here, because I can live everything. And Focus Blast was a roll to kill if he was modest. I mean, if it was modest, it killed, actually. If it was timid, it was a roll to kill at this point. But I do kill with Gyro Ball, so I don't need to worry about checking Gardevoir. I can check the Nihilego with the Steelix as I get some more leftovers. As he goes into the Buzzwole, as he goes into Kartana here, as he goes into my Buzzwole, Sacred Sword does 9%. And he goes for the Z here. I expect it to be Z's Supersonic Sky Strike, and that's exactly what it was. That does 47, which is insane. As that Ice Punch here, which is a bit of a misplay. That was actually just a very, very bad play on my end, because I should have Drain Punch. If he goes Glasgow, like I said, I either Ice Punch on the Glasgow, I go into my Slow King, I go into my Clefable. I had so many options. So I'm just really, really misplaying on this game so far, even though I am in the lead. I feel like I am misplaying this game and just not looking at the win cons correctly. So I should have Drain Punch. Getting rid of the card would have been so good for me, as he crits me with the Leaf Blade. So that makes me not a check to anything anymore. But either way, I Fire Fang and I kill it. So that's really good for me. As he goes into Mimikyu, I could have... this was a misplay, I feel like, because I should have just Fire Fanged, maybe, or switched down to something else, but I had no other switch in. Buzzwole wasn't a switch in anymore, but I did not need the Buzzwole anymore. But instead I go into my Nihilego check to take more chip, which is not a good idea. I'm just playing very badly at this point. I didn't have sight of the Scarf Nihilego in the back, which I assumed it would be Scarf Nihilego, but I didn't know for a fact. So I'm just taking chip on this for no reason. As he goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Now this is not the worst thing in the world, because I still kill the Nihilego with Earthquake, so that's fine by me. But I just get no recovery at all. I go into the Gliscor, goes into the Gliscor on my Slow King. I don't know what he was trying to do there, but you know, it ended up working out for me. And I get a free Skull here, as he reveals to be faster, which is very good for me. As I reveal my Rock Element, which is really good. As he goes into his, what did I Ice Beam? Yeah, I'm just playing really badly here. By the way, this is when I stopped making YouTube, so I was a little washed up. So I'm not very good at the game at this point in the time. So yeah, I'm not making excuses for my shit play, but you know what? I don't know why I Ice Beamed there. I don't know why I made Happy's play, so I apologize. As I go into my Buzzwole, I don't really need it anymore, because as he goes for the knockoff, it does nothing. And I just can roost up here. I can do whatever I want. And Play Rough at this range does not kill me. But instead, I go into my Steelix for whatever reason. What am I doing? At this point, I'm just looking back at the replay and saying, Fizz, what are you doing? I'm sacking my Nihilego check to check a Mimikyu, which I can just sack a Buzzwole right here, because it doesn't do anything anymore. So I'm just making all these terrible plays. As he goes for his Shadow Claw and he brings me down to 26, I am in pretty comfortable, like, Grass Knot range of Nihilego. So yeah, I'm just not playing well at this point. I have to switch out here so I don't lose the Sludge Wave, except I die, I sack my Steelix. I had no idea that I sacked my Steelix, so I definitely just lose some Nihilego at this point, I feel like. But I just go to my Aerodactyl. He can Shadow Sink all he wants, doesn't kill. Just 59, but I Rocks right here, not hoping to miss this thing. You go into Nihilego, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really bad. I'm like really bad for sacking my Steelix here, letting it take chip from the Mimikyu. But these are mistakes that can be made in the regular season, but not the playoffs. You know, I can fix this in the playoffs, and I know what I'm doing in the playoffs, hopefully. So I go to my Slow King, which is a decent check. You can see that Power Jump is 33, and I believe I just Scald right here. Oh, it's double back into my Garchomp on the Zero Aura, I think. But this is a free Outrage. No, I run into Clefable. Oh yeah, because at this point, Clefable wins. Now, I kind of got really tilted in this next season of plays. Thank God I didn't have the chat up. Actually, I didn't even say anything in the chat. But this was just the worst time for me, because I expected the hard switch it to Nihilego, because this thing can't do anything except he goes for rocks. For whatever reason, Chomp doesn't die to rocks. Rocks don't kill my Aerodactyl at this range, which health on the Aerodactyl doesn't mean anything. I'm Magic God on Clefable, I've regenerated on Slowking. Buzzwole I can sack if I want to. So the rocks play didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So I went for the Side Shock there to try and catch a Nihilego off guard, which was honestly my best play. So I was like, why'd you do that? And now right here, I go for the Calm Mind, I believe, as he goes for the Earthquake, which makes no sense to me, because if he lets me get to +2, he just completely wins, or I completely win the game, like if I get to +2, like for sure. So I don't really know what he's doing. Now I am just going to Side Shock right here, hoping to catch a Nihilego, because it is a roll to kill my Clefable at this point, and with the Sludge Wave. But he goes into Zero Aura, which doesn't make any sense to me, man. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Because if I got to +2 there, I won the game. And I can tell he wasn't banded from the damage before. It didn't make any sense to me why he would let me get to +2 and just 5-0 him right there. Just didn't make any sense to me, but right here, I am just going to... He goes for the knockoff too, which didn't make any sense to me, man. Because if I Calm Minded right there, I won the game. I don't know why he knocked off, man. I just don't know. But it's gonna end up working out for him, as I just decided to kill it. Because I didn't want Plasma Fist to two-shot me. He just went for the knockoff there, which makes me incredibly tilted. Because if I Calm Minded again, I won the frickin' game. But Nihilego comes in. It's a very, very small roll for him to get the roll and pretty much win the game right there. But yeah, this is very unfortunate. I go into my Slowking here hard into it as he goes for a Sludge Wave. He does 38. Now I need to stall this out of Sludge Waves. Now I just have to slack off. Hopefully it doesn't poison me. It's 10%, so the odds are in my favor every time, except he gets on the second try, which sucks a lot. So he's pretty much getting rewarded for his previous plays that didn't make any sense. But you know, that's life, man. That's life. If I got to +2, you can see how I won. Because I take a Sludge Wave, I Side Shock this thing, and I kill my kill the Gliscor with my Aerodactyl. So I go into my Chomp here because I thought it died to rocks, but I forgot it's a ground type, and I died to rocks. And right here, I just pretty much lose again. Yeah. That was just incredibly awful. That was pretty much the worst game I've ever played in my life. But I feel like he 100% misplayed. Not roasting him or anything, but I feel like his best play on the Gliscor was just to either U-turn first or just a hard switch out, because he had no business staying in on Clefable. If I got to +2, I won the game for the 15th time in a row. Like, I won the game if I got to +2 with Calm Mind. And setting up rocks there just blows my mind. It just baffles me. But in hindsight, Calm Mind was the correct play. If he went to Nihilego, he can't kill me from full. So Calm Mind was always the correct play. But he went for the knockoff on Zero, which that was a one. Like, knockoff on Zero didn't make any sense to me. But if I just Calm Minded that turn, I won the game again, because Nihilego can't kill me at that range. And yeah, it was just an awful time for me. I 100% choked that game. I played just incredibly poorly with my Steelix, and I felt like garbage after this game, as you might imagine. But you know what? I have nothing to feel garbage about. Your boy is 6-1 in NCL, man. We are currently second in the conference, and we are looking very, very good for playoffs. So I feel like this is 100%, 100,000% a winnable game. And you already know the most important game is in playoffs. And I believe that Jamezy has a very solid shot at making playoffs. So at least I'm losing to a playoff opponent, right? So, yeah, man. That was a tough game. Next up, we are going up against Magic and the Snow Point City Blizzards. Hopefully we could pick up a dub there after this horrendous game. It was just awful. But you know what? Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Please. Wow. Peace.